The afternoon sun scorched Liberty Street, its glare shimmering off cracked asphalt. Then, crack! A punch landed squarely on the face of an elderly man, the sound sharp as a snapping branch. "Get out of my way, old man," the biker barked, towering over him, fists clenched with fury. "You're just a damn nuisance." Another hit. Harder. Leish Turner, a man marked by time and service, staggered backward, his broom falling beside him. Blood streaked his mustache before he crumpled onto the pavement. "Useless," the biker spat. His leather jacket flashed a Confederate flag beneath a grinning skull patch. His Harley rumbled an idle, loud, arrogant. Leish, lips split and trembling, whispered, "I just asked you not to park there. It's an emergency exit." The biker scoffed and stalked closer, swaggering with the need to dominate. "I ain't your son, old man. You think your dusty medals make you special." People watched. A van slowed. A woman in a Honda pulled out her phone but hesitated. No one moved. Leish, with effort, pushed up on one hand. "I serve this country, even for people like you." The biker barked a laugh, then drove a boot into the veteran's ribs. Leish gasped, his breath ragged. "You're good for nothing but cleaning the dirt off the street." A phone buzzed in Leish's torn pocket. The biker yanked it out. "Who's calling, your nurse?" he sneered, squinting at the screen. "One word, son." The biker dropped the phone and smashed it under his boot. Leish coughed blood, the taste of metal mixing with dust. The biker crouched beside him and hissed into his ear, "All those years in uniform, you still ain't one of them. Did you really think a flag on your chest made you white?" Leish didn't answer. His gaze, though swollen, carried no fear, just a deep, ancient sadness. "You're a roach," the biker muttered, "crawling where you're not wanted." Leish closed his eyes. In the darkness, memories rose, whirling sand, rotor blades overhead, a young comrade's dying words, "Brother." Crack! Another punch snapped him back to the present. His jaw throbbed. A child across the street began to cry, muffled by a mother's embrace. "Is someone calling the police?" Someone finally shouted. "No one's going to help him," the biker mocked, spinning in place. "You going to cry for your black grandpa? That war hero tale doesn't work anymore. This isn't racism. This is America." From Leish's pocket, a military dog tag slipped out, glinting in the light. The biker stepped on it. The soft scrape of metal on asphalt was deafening that he straightened, knuckles bloodied, and strode back to his Harley. Lit a cigarette. "Maybe now you'll learn to stay quiet." Leish lay broken, gasping, the dog tag crushed near his face. Then a deep, unfamiliar engine growled down Liberty Street. IT wasn't a motorcycle, IT was a Humvee. Heads turned. The air thickened with tension. The vehicle rolled to a stop near Leish's motionless body. A man stepped out, young, dark-skinned, his uniform dusty, his boots worn from foreign deserts. His posture was crisp, but his face betrayed emotion. "Dad!" The street fell deathly quiet. Leish groaned. "Brandon!" The biker turned, cigarette dangling. "Well, what's this?" "A little family reunion." Brandon knelt beside his father, gently touching the swollen face, then picked up the bent dog tag and placed it in his pocket. That he stood, faced the biker. "Did you do this?" The biker smirked. "What if I did?" Brandon's hand rested calmly on his belt, near the holster he'd trained with for years. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. "You gonna protect that old man?" The biker taunted. "Another black fool who thinks serving this country gives him worth? They used him. They'll use you too." Brandon didn't flinch. His breath came slow, steady. His eyes were cold steel. The biker dropped his cigarette and stepped forward. "You look just like him. Same eyes. Same pathetic hope." Leish stirred. "Brandon, don't." But Brandon's gaze was locked, unshaken, his silence louder than screams. "Use guard dog?" The biker continued. "Wearing your little costume, thinking you're a hero?" Brandon's jaw tightened. He took one slow step forward. People on the street held their breath. Something had changed. The air felt electric, like the moment before a lightning strike. Brandon stepped forward, placing himself between the biker and his father. "Don't take another step," he said in a voice that sounded like suppressed thunder. The biker hesitated, instinctively halting. Brandon's stare was different, cold, precise, like a threat with no intention to miss. "And while you do if I do," the biker spat, sneering. "Gonna teach me a lesson? You, a soldier in a uniform? Gonna talk about justice? Brotherhood? What are you gonna tell me, soldier?" The biker took a step closer. Without hesitation, Brandon pushed the biker back with a single, dry, controlled movement. The biker stumbled several feet but didn't fall. Brandon didn't strike, just stood firm between the biker and his father. The biker lost his smirk, struggling to reclaim it, but it was harder now. The sound of radios crackled, followed by the thunder of boots on asphalt. "Military police. Hands up. Get on the ground." Two Humvees appeared, blocking the street. Three armed soldiers in vests and helmets quickly disembarked, their formation shaking the atmosphere. The crowd scattered, some recording, others frozen. "Step away from the injured," one of the soldiers shouted, pointing at the biker. The man raised his hands, his twisted grin still aimed at Brandon. "Look at you. You called for backup. Too scared to fight alone." Brandon didn't respond. His focus was on his father, still on the ground, breathing hard. "I need a medic here," he ordered one of the soldiers. A medic knelt beside Leish, checking his vitals. Brandon turned back to the biker, who was now looking for an escape route. "You know what's the worst about you people?" the biker muttered. "You don't even realize this country already chose. You think you're part of the system, but you're disposable. Like your father. Like you." Silence. One of the soldiers barked, but Brandon's eyes didn't waver. No anger, just resolve. He stood tall, unmoving, as the soldiers handcuffed the biker. The biker sputtered, trying to spit more venom. "This isn't justice," he shouted as they dragged him away. "I was just defending myself. That old man provoked me." No one was listening anymore. The soldiers were silent, the crowd too. The biker's words faded into the suffocating heat of the afternoon. Brandon knelt beside his father, whose eyes were glazed. "I'm here, Dad. It's over." Leish tried to raise his hand, but could only weakly touch Brandon's arm. "I just wanted him to move the bike," he whispered, his voice strained. "I didn't know it would." He couldn't finish. Brandon closed his eyes, holding back his breath, but it was futile. Tears fell silently, one after another. His whole body shook with a mixture of rage, helplessness, and grief. To see his father, once a strong man, a leader, a soldier, lying on the ground, beaten like an animal, was a wound that no law or metal could heal. "I failed you," Brandon murmured. "I should have been here sooner." "You came," Leish whispered, his voice barely audible. "You always do." The paramedics arrived, kneeling beside Leish, cleaning his face and checking his vitals. Brandon stepped back to give him space. Then he saw him, his face now devoid of arrogance, sweating and silent, locked inside the military vehicle. One of the soldiers slammed the door, the metallic sound echoing like a gunshot. Brandon's gaze lingered on the man, and for a moment he felt something. Not joy, not vengeance, not satisfaction, but the certainty that this man would never again stomp on veterans or hurt a father without consequence. The world had seen it. The world had recorded it. And justice, at least this time, had arrived. Brandon turned back to his father as the paramedics loaded him into the ambulance. He walked beside the stretcher, holding Leish's hand. "I've got you, old man. Rest now. I'll take care of everything." Leish squeezed his hand weakly but firmly. And for the first time, Brandon took a deep breath. The war wasn't over, but this battle hadn't been lost. Hours later, in the emergency room, the sterile white lights contrasted with the emotional shadow that still clung to Brandon. He sat by his father's bed, his gaze fixed on the man who had taught him everything. Leish slept, his face bandaged, his left arm immobilized. But he was breathing, and that was enough for now. Brandon held the military dog tag he had saved from the street. He had bent it back with his fingers, as though fixing the metal could fix the world. "You were right, old man," Brandon whispered. "Serving still means something, even if no one else understands it." His phone vibrated in his pocket, buzzing with notifications. A video was already circulating. Veteran beaten by racist biker. Son confront attacker. Thousands of views, hundreds of comments. But Brandon didn't open anything. Not today. This wasn't a spectacle. It wasn't a viral cause. It was his father. His story. His pained out doctor entered folder in hand. Your father will be fine, he said with a smile. He'll need rest, but there's no internal damage. He'll recover. Brandon closed his eyes, exhaling. Thank you, doctor. Want to know something curious? The doctor asked. Not often we get such a coordinated response. How did you manage it? Brandon simply looked at the dog tag in his hand. A good soldier always answers the call. The doctor left, and Brandon leaned closer to his father. He placed the dog tag on Laisha's chest, where it always rested. Rest, Sergeant. The watch is covered. And for the first time since it all started, he smiled. Just a little, but it was enough.